Welcome to Voices for Care. Have you ever wondered what is the $10 a day childcare program? Well, in today's episode, we're going to discuss all the details, the intentions, and the goals of the Canada-wide Early Learning and Childcare program. This program has been backed by a substantial $30 billion investment from Canadian taxpayers and promises to bring affordable childcare to all families across the country. This initiative is aiming to relieve the financial strain on parents and increase access to quality childcare spaces. We'll discuss what this program includes, its goals, and the promises it holds for Canadian families. Whether you're a parent feeling the financial pinch or a Canadian interested to understand the investment you have made in childcare, join us as we explore how this national program plans to transform the Canadian childcare landscape. I often get asked, what is the $10 a day childcare program? Or what is the Canada-wide Early Learning and Childcare program, or the CBULC? All the same program, just different names. I thought I would spend a few minutes just go through what the program actually is, what the intentions and goals of the program are, and how it rolled out across the country from province to province. So I'll start by saying the Canada-wide Early Learning and Childcare program was rolled out in 2021 by our Liberal government, by Justin Trudeau, as a federal program, an initiative to really bring affordable childcare to Canadian families with the goal to get to a $10 a day average for childcare by 2026. So that big component, the affordability component, is massive. We want to see an average across the country from province to province of $10 a day for childcare by 2026. Outside of the affordability component to this program, there's a few other things that it's really striving to give to Canadian families. One of them is to increase spaces. So we really are looking to target childcare deserts. Those are areas, regions across the country that have very little, limited to no licensed childcare spaces. So the goal of this program is to bring licensed childcare into those areas to make sure that the community has access to these affordable childcare programs. Another component of this program is to provide inclusive access, to really make sure that all children, regardless of family's income or background, can access childcare across country. So this is super important. I mean, what is a childcare program? What is the point of creating a $10 a day childcare program if you can't actually access it? Outside of access and increased spaces, one of the other targets for this program is to really improve quality. So quality of the workforce, making sure that our early childhood educators are well trained and ready to support children in these programs, and that these programs are providing a high quality childcare. So that's kind of the targets. Those are the intentions of this $10 a day childcare program. How it was rolled out depends on each province. So federally, our government, you as taxpayers, you as Canadians, invested $30 billion to create this program. Each province then had the option to sign into this program, the opportunity to participate in this Canada-wide Early Learning and Childcare program. Once they were signing into the program, they were given the chance to negotiate an agreement with the federal government to really make sure they were meeting these intentions federally, like hitting that mark of $10 a day by 2026, and creating different space benchmarks. So they have to create certain numbers of spaces within timeframes to be able to get federal money into their province. So outside of that, each province really negotiated an agreement that they felt worked for their province, they felt worked for their families in their province, and would transform their childcare sector under this national umbrella by 2026. So every province has a different agreement, again, all within meeting these goals of the program, but each agreement can be different. So, some agreements allow for mixed market childcare, which is nonprofit, for-profit, public, private structures of business in that childcare sector. Some don't. Some only will allow access to this $10 a day program for the nonprofit sector. So each province is different. And like I said, each province had the opportunity to participate in this program and to create an agreement that they felt really represented their need. Outside of that, I think it's important to understand that this is a $10 a day average. So not every family will receive $10 a day care. And I think A lot of times that gets lost a little bit in this program, but it's not a universal $10 a day. It's an average across the country. So that might look different depending on where you live and which childcare center you're choosing, and what your income is, and if you're subsidized or not subsidized. And I think also too, it sometimes is miscommunicated in this program that childcare centers are receiving funds to participate in this program or receiving money from the government under this program. And that's not really the truth. So how this works is that as a childcare operator, regardless of business model, you could be nonprofit, you could be for-profit, if you're participating in this Canada-wide early learning and childcare program, you're being asked to reduce your fees. So reduce your parent fees to $15 a day to $10 a day, depending on what threshold your province is at, and then have the government fund the rest of those parent fees. So it's not really receiving money from the government. We're not paid to participate in this program. We are just taking money that usually would be 100% funded by parents and now having that primary funder become our provincial government. So that's the difference. I think that sometimes that gets lost, that operators are somehow financially gaining to be part of this, but we're not. It's the same amount of money, the same parent fees, but parents are now responsible for $10 a day for childcare, and the government is essentially paying the remaining balance. And that can come in different ways across the country. In Alberta, we have an affordability grant program that subsidizes that remaining balance for families. So it just is different who's funding it. It's the funding model behind it. One of the other things around this program is that we have different options to create spaces. So, one of the targets I mentioned before was to really bring childcare to these childcare deserts, to make sure that all Canadians have access to high quality, inclusive childcare. And that's done in different provinces, different ways under this program. There's certain things called space creation grants where different centers can apply for these space creation grants and get funding to help with some of the costs that are incurred in order to open childcare and really stimulate childcare growth in these childcare deserts. So there's a lot of money being spent. There's a lot of taxpayer money that has been invested both provincially and federally to make sure that Canadian families are having access to high quality, inclusive, and affordable childcare. So I think that, while this is just a very, high level summary of how this program works and what the intentions are, I think as parents, as Canadians, as taxpayers who have essentially invested in this program, it's really important to understand what the goals were for this investment, which was to create affordable childcare to, a benchmark of $10 a day as an average by 2026, to create inclusive, high quality childcare for all Canadians, but also, this is a big one, to really make sure that Canadian families can access this childcare, can actually access these $10 a day childcare spaces. Because if we're creating $10 a day childcare spaces, but no one can access them, then it's actually a program that's not really working. It's not really meeting the intentions that were set when it was rolled out. It's not meeting the promises that were made to Canadian families. So I think, with any investment, it's always great to really make sure that it's delivering and that your money is being spent in a responsible way that really meets the goals that you had for it. So I think, I'll just leave it there for today, but I think that this is a program that has wonderful intentions. I sometimes get a little bit of criticism for bringing up the faults around this program. So I think that it's important to recognize that discussing issues to bring awareness to things that maybe aren't working or aren't rolling out the way we had hoped doesn't mean that you don't want the goals of this program, doesn't mean that you're not supporting affordable childcare or accessible childcare. It just means that we have a responsibility to make sure that these public funds are spent in a way that meets the intentions of this program, that they're invested wisely and responsibly for Canadian families, and that Canadian families are receiving what was promised, which is affordable childcare and access to affordable childcare. So thank you, and I look forward to talking more about this. Thank you for joining us on today's journey through the heart of Canada's childcare sector. We hope you found inspiration, insight, and a call to action that resonates with you. But our conversation doesn't end here. The quest for high-quality childcare is ongoing, and your voice is essential in this collective journey. Stay connected and continue to be part of this crucial dialogue by following Voices for Care on your favorite podcast platform. Subscribe to receive updates on new episodes and share with friends and family to broaden our community of advocates. Together, we can make a difference in the lives of children and families across Canada. Don't forget to reach out via our social media channels with your thoughts, stories, and ideas for future episodes. Your input helps shape our mission and the future of childcare in our country. Until next time, keep raising your voice for care, because every child deserves a bright start and every parent is entitled to the choice and care for their family. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode of Voices for Care.